Greetings, traveler.
Hey there guys, in today's video we're gonna go over another draft. This time it's going to be a hunter draft. My favorite class, and as I know, the crowd favorite. A lot of you love to play or watch me draft and play hunter. So this is, it's almost something that's close to me, right? I want Rexar to do well. I want you guys to give him a chance. And in this expansion, he looked to be a little weaker than before. But then we, or should say, I rather for myself found a way to make it work. I feel like other streamers also found that sweet spot where the hunter is at its best. For me, that is mid-range. So we're not gonna draft too fast, which means that we're not going to curve out at 4. We're going to want some late game minions in our deck. The super face-oriented hunter that you can also draft still works, but is a lot more difficult because it requires a lot of older cards. A lot of the new cards are not very good in that face-oriented style, seeing as you're looking for area of effect cards like Explosive Trap, Multi-Shot, Explosive Shot, and Reach, charge minions, damage out of hand, such as Kill Command. And the more cards that are printed that don't do this thing, the more difficult it's going to be to draft a deck that has a lot of those cards. So although the style still works, I don't aim for it unless I get a lot of good cards at the start to go for the deck, because it's just not very likely to come together. So those reasons combined make it so that we prefer a mid-range hunter draft. This draft in this video is going to be looking pretty much like a standard hunter mid-range draft, with the exception of single target removal. That's the one thing you're not going to see in this deck. Other than that, it looks pretty much how I want my mid-range decks to look. Single target removal, Hunter's Mark, Freezing Trap, Deadly Shot. Those are pretty much the 3 cards that you're going to want to see. 2, maybe even 3 copies. Really nice to have in a deck like this. Either way, guys, you can still use the exercise we talked about last times. Draft for yourself, see how many picks you differ from me. Let me know in the comments how many cards you would have picked differently, and if you go 30 out of 30, feel free to drop that in the comments as well. Have a good one, guys. I'll catch you next time. No, has it been too long, guys?
Only beasts are above this.
Schmork. Alright, let me clear this. It's time to hit face and chew bubblegum, and me all out of gum. Alright. Now that the bad jokes are done. Eagle Rumbo? Yeah, let's do an interactive, or rather methodical arena draft, guys. We're gonna go with the bow here. After we're a couple picks in, I'm gonna reevaluate the deck and talk about what archetype it will likely be and how that is going to influence our picks. So far, we're just picking the best card in the pack, which is here, Young Priestess. Okay, first real fork in the road. Leopard Gnome face? No, Leopard Gnome is kind of unplayable now. Feels bad, man. Pit Fighter's definitely good for a more mid-rangey style. I do really like Web Spinner. I think I am going to go for the Web Spinner this early on. Alright, sorry guys, have to quickly address something here. Camel pulls a bunch of Mistress, which is pretty awkward. You might look at this pack and say, oh, Desert Camel's great, we have 2 1-drops already. But a lot of people that draft 1-drops right now pick the 1-mana 2/2 or Chow, which brings them ahead on the board because they get a 2/2 to kill our Web Spinner with. I think Clockwork Knight's just gonna be better. More Web Spinners, sure. Alley Cat. Alright, so we're gonna get 4 good 1-drops. That's great. Good early game. Okay, this is a nice fork in the road as well. Kraken or Zip Gunner? The argument in favor of Kraken is that it's a really nice late game card. You can have 1 or 2 of these in your deck, like a Bog and a Kraken. The downside is that you can't hero power and Kraken the same turn. So the argument for Kraken deals 4 face is pretty much Kraken deals 2 face, because you can't hero power as well. Because I have some really nice early game, I think I'm going to go with the Zip Gunner, because the deck might just be too fast for Kraken right now. Scarlet Crusader is a really good 3 in this meta. There's a lot of 4/3s out there. Divine Shield 3 deals really well with 4/3s. Smuggler or Healer? Once again, I'm going to shy away from the Camel because we're going to pick a Web Spinner and they're going to get Misters of Mixtures. I think we're going to go with the Smuggler. It's a lot of 3-mana cards early on though. Dark Scale Healer is not that bad. On the board it's actually quite good. We might actually want to have the Healer over this just because we already have 4 3-mana cards. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Healer instead. Informant, Bomb Squad, or Demo? It's not Demo. We'll go with the Informant over the Bomb Squad just to fix our mana a little bit better. If you're gonna pick Smuggler's Crate, it's in a pack like this where you already have too many 3s. I think you still don't do it though. I think you go Earthen Ring here. Smuggler's Crate, just not what you want. Okay. These are all pretty great. Probably go with Unleash. It's just a little bit more flexible out of this pack. Arcane Shot or Trog? We don't have 4s yet, but I prefer the flexible Arcane Shot. Same here, I think I prefer the flexibility of On the Hunt. We do have a weapon already. That might bump it in favor of the Corsair. 1, 2... So we're 2 more picks for halfway. We'll have a look at the deck then and evaluate. I'll go for the 4-drop for now. Because we already have a lot of 3s, I'm just going to go with this. It can also go face. Okay, so this pack isn't worth evaluating because it's always a 2-drop no matter what style. Same here, it's always the Huntress no matter what style. I'm trying to find the fork in the road here. Semi-fork in the road-ish, even though it's probably Pyro because we need the 2. So the way how the deck looks right now, we're going to be a bit more of a mid-rangey deck. Yeah. Infest is pretty good in that style though. But I have 1... Any spare parts? Nothing. I could have Crime Street. Just need the 2-drop. 1, 2, 3. The Web Spinners are great to keep us fueled as well. Oh, Bulldfist is great. In this style, Bulldfist is probably better than Kraken because you don't want to wait that long to develop your stuff. Whereas you can Bulldfist hero power on 8 or just Bulldfist on curve, keep the pressure going. Hat is probably not the worst in our deck either. It's a lot of flexible stuff. We have Pyro. Pyro and Hat is amazing because you can, you know, keep the Pyro alive even if it's at 1. Tracking, Rhino, or Camel? It's probably tracking in this pack. We don't have that much value for the Rhino. And our curve is looking a little tricky. Double rat and a hungry crab. Alright. Do you have any Ratsma stubs in the house, guys? Can you get some Ratsma faces, please? It's probably the rat pack. We have the hats. We have the Zip Gunner. And I think I didn't pick the other one, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't like Dirty Rat. It's way too inconsistent. But I've been doing a lot of experimenting, so it probably goes hands in hand. Wow, I don't want this. I probably still pick it. 1, 2, 3. No, I can pick the 2-mana card. I don't want the healing. Now that's a 4-mana card. 3rd Web Spinner. Yeah, absolutely. early game without costing you a card. It's also a great 4-drop. I'm not going to go overboard on the 2-mana cards, even though we could definitely use more. We have a lot of 1s, so that compensates a little bit. Especially if you have coin, you can coin past the 2. Oh, Infest now is great. Yeah, wow. Yeah, we don't want Assassin. Infest gives us a little bit more late game. Probably Storm and Knight, as we still lack a little bit in the 4-drop department. Mookless Champion would be okay in this deck, but we already have Bog for 7. We have Infest for the late game as well. Storm and Knight is also a little bit of reach. And go face in the end. Probably Knuckles. Hogger is definitely not out of the question. So the reason why I say probably Knuckles is that it's an above average, I would say, curve play, because you get to punch 3 face, which is really big. No matter what style of hunter you're playing, being able to punch 3 face is pretty cool. I have a lot of 3-drops, so I'm not in trouble for my turn 5 at all. We can play a 5 and a 2, so we can play a 3 and a 2 or a 3 and a hero power for turn 5. Knuckle goes 12-0. That's true, my Knuckles average right now is 12-0. Harambe. Do it for Harambe, Bible Pump. Yeah, I'll go for the slightly cheaper card in this deck. Okay.